Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, a narcoleptic comedian, and this is the podcast where I interview people in my bed and we talk about sleep, comedy, and relationships. This week, I interviewed the very awesome Megan Gailey. We talked about weird dreams, sharing beds with significant others, LA, Nascar, the pitching process, sports, and much, much more. We were all over the place, but it was fantastic. We also obviously talked about stand-up. She is having a really awesome week. She had her 10-year stand-up anniversary a couple days ago, and she has her Comedy Central half hour releasing this Friday, September 28th on Comedy Central at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central. She also hosts the Check Down with James Jones on the NFL Network, and that's a live streaming Twitter show. You can follow Megan on Twitter at Megan Gailey and on Instagram at Better Megan Gailey. She's also recording an album November 15th, 16th, and 17th. Sleeping with Sarah is brought to you by Audible.com. You can go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah to get a free audiobook of your choice. Because we mentioned him in the podcast, I'd like to recommend David Spade's most recent book, A Polaroid Guy in a Snapchat World. Again, that's audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. And for me, you can catch me this upcoming Friday at 8 p.m. at FUBAR. And you can always catch me every month, the second Tuesday of the month. That'll be October 9th at Wild and Weird Comedy at 8 p.m. at the Dojo Room at Sycamore Tavern. Megan is also on the Wild and Weird Comedy Show on October 9th. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to podcasts. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe. You can also go to my website, sleepysarah.com, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Well, let's get started with the show. Sleeping with Sarah. Hi, welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm here with my guest, Megan Gailey.
I want to clap too now.
You can clap?
There we go. I don't want to mess up your slate.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just do that so it's less work later.
Now, this is not usually what I sleep in, but...
That's okay.
I usually sleep in just underpants.
Yeah.
I like to be free in my bedtime self.
It is nice. I usually only sleep like that if I have somebody with me. So.
Oh, really? You usually... Yeah, I don't like to be completely nude. I like to have a little pant on, some sort of pantaloon between me and the sheets. I saw a movie last week and the woman woke up and you could see her bra and I was fucking furious.
I hate that. That really bothers me in movies because nobody's putting their bra or covering themselves with the sheets right after sex.
She wasn't even, no one was in bed with her. She just was supposed to be waking up with a bra on, and it's I've done that wasted. But I've never worn a bra to bed on purpose ever in my life.
Yeah, no, I've definitely, because I fall asleep randomly sometimes, I've definitely fallen asleep with a bra.
Yes, of course. And then you wake up furious.
And then you're I'm in pain now because I slept on it this weird way, and now
there's
my boobs, and now one of my boobs wants to be up here, and the other one wants to be down here.
It's not good. It's not good. Stop making women sleep in bras in movies. We're not believing it.
Actually, but one thing I do love about LA is that I can walk around without a bra and nobody cares.
People don't wear bras here.
People don't wear bras, and it's a weird freeing thing.
Yeah.
Or even when I'm working out, I did Runyon today and I just took off my shirt and just had my sports bra and my my hiking shorts.
That's allowed.
I know. And it's I would have never done that in Chicago though.
No, it's a much less covered place here. Mm-hmm. And all shapes, all sizes, everybody feeling good about themselves. I know LA is always oh, everyone's so thin. There's obviously very thin, hot people here. We don't see them though. I don't. No, I mean, when you go to a restaurant, everyone that works there's hot, and you're what's happening?
Or you go to a weed dispensary and all the bud tenders
are very, very hot. But for the most part,
there's a lot of normal people.
Yeah, there's lots of normal people.
Everyone is very much more if you're having a good day, people are very vocal about it. People are you look real good today.
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought coming here I'd be self-conscious but I feel way better about myself actually because people are more vocal here than they are in the Midwest. They're oh, you that outfit looks really good, or you look, I feel I get that more here. But maybe it's also a new vibe or something.
I guess they think people are fake too, and so maybe people are just saying things, but I'm if people are just saying things, I'll gladly take it.
Oh,
whether it's genuine or fake, don't care. In my brain, it's all real.
Yeah, if it makes me have a better day,
I
don't care.
Very happy.
How'd you sleep last night?
I slept great. My boyfriend was in town. We do live together, but he's been in New York. He has to be in New York for 2 months. So he was in town the last 4 nights. Then last night was the first night I was sleeping without him there, and I slept much better.
You got to sprawl?
I got to sprawl. I also wake up every morning with him, like, touching me, you know, like, or just in my face, like, smiling. And so I didn't have to do that.
That's good. I'm usually I'm the hard person to sleep with. I'm talking to, whatever they call it now, dating like somebody. And so, but I steal the covers.
I do all that too.
I like wake him up. Like he's a lighter sleeper than I am. I wake him up,
yeah.
You know.
He only wakes me up in the morning, but he takes up a lot of, we're like, we need a king size bed. That's like, we thought we were going to get a king size bed. And then I think we got into our new place and we were like, is that too much? And now it's like, no, this is what we need. Because when we're in hotels, we sleep great. And it's like, go over there. I'll be over here. I'll meet you in the middle before we go to bed and when we wake up. But other than that, you need to get away from me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I'm more of a cuddler, I think. I like that. I don't know.
Even in the middle of the night?
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, I'm also sexomniac, so it's...
What's a sexomniac?
It's where I will initiate sex in the middle of the night while I'm still sleeping.
Really?
Yeah. It's a weird... I didn't know it was a thing. Like,
is that a condition?
Kind of. I have a lot of weird sleep conditions, so that is a thing I recently read an article about. I was like, oh, that's what it's called. Because, like, my boyfriend that I was with, like, right after college, we realized that was a thing that would happen. And I was like... It was very clear. I initiated
but he's like,
it.
This is fun. This is a great condition.
And I was just like, so anybody I date, I'm just like, hey, FYI, this might happen.
And they're like, great. Let's hope it does. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be upset now because I know that it's happened in the past. I had an ex who, maybe 2 or 3 times, he punched me in our sleep.
Oh, this not the first time I've heard about people punching people in sleep.
Yeah, it was, once it was like a... like that. Once it was a boom, and then another, and he felt, he started he was like afraid to go to sleep. He started reading articles, but
man.
But I also, we broke up shortly after, so I'm like, who knows?
Have you ever done any weird sleep stuff?
I talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't know that unless someone tells. So I think I probably end up talking in my sleep every night, but unless someone is there, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, CJ said that he was performing at halftime in my sleep last week.
Performing at halftime.
Performing at halftime. And then it's like, wow, that's really sad because I've let so many things bleed together in my brain. I have really vivid dreams. I dream every night. I had a great dream last night about a friend. See, I'm in bed. I'm yawning. I had a dream about a friend getting in a fight with a famous person.
Yeah, do you know who it was?
Yeah, but I'm also friends with that person. So I had a friend that, a stand-up comedian I know got in a fight with David Spade, who is the nicest human being on the planet, who
I've heard he's super nice.
Would never fight with anybody, but it was really, this was a girl too, just like a sweet, nice, like 20-year-old girl, and they got in a fight.
Like a fist fight?
No, just like he was mad at her. But we were all performing in this giant theater, but it was my high school auditorium.
Oh. I love that how it's like, this is the biggest theater in the country, but it also happens to be your high school.
Lawrence Central High School. And we were supposed to be in like a different... we were on this trip and there were so many wonderful, amazing things they were doing for us. And then we all performed for like 4 minutes. And I was like, that really is a comedy dream. To be like, oh, yeah, I got a massage. I got to go out to eat. And all I had to do was 4 minutes in front of 5,000 people. What a dream.
That sounds like a great dream. That's awesome that you remember all your dreams and still remember them the next day. Like, you write them down or?
I don't write them down, but like I nap. I probably nap 2 or 3 times a week.
I think napping's important.
Well, it's hard to. I just love it. I just am an afternoon napper. I also read before bed. So if I get in bed around like 3, 4 p.m., I'll read, fall asleep for an hour, wake up, and then go out and do shows and stuff.
Oh.
Because I'm an early, like I tend to get up around between 8 and 9, but then we have to be out until like midnight, 1 sometimes. So I kind of need to nap, I think.
Yeah, same here. Like and I've been getting up early because of this person, you know.
Yeah, and the sun. I think it's easier to get up here earlier.
Oh, yeah. And you're a happier person because constant sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah, if you let the sun wake you up. What's the other? Oh, I'm drunk less here.
Oh, yeah.
So I tend to wake up earlier.
I realized that Chicagoans drink a lot compared. Looking back, I was like, because I never really lived in another city as an adult, so.
It's the most famous drinking city in the country.
I was just like, wow, Chicagoans are kind of drunks, you know?
Oh, it's a real problem.
And here it's very different. I feel like a lot healthier already.
Is this a bad angle? I feel like it might be.
Oh, I guess I'll sit up a little bit. I've got lots of pillows. I can give you more.
So comfy.
You can adjust however you like.
Did you ever have a boyfriend pillow?
No, I haven't. Have you? Is it good?
Yeah. Yeah, they're nice to read. Well, I haven't ever had like a long one. Oh, I guess I've had a study pillow, but a long pillow is great. And most of my pregnant friends have to get them too.
Huh. Interesting.
I do sleep with a pillow between my knees now.
You do? Mm-hmm. What? Just
my hips aren't good, and I think that's what my mom told me, and she's a nurse.
Oh, well, it's good that you've got someone looking out for you for that.
So that's what I do, and it actually is really, really comfortable.
And so, you're from Indiana.
I'm from Indianapolis.
You're not far from where my hometown is, which is in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. I've been drunk there. I've been to weddings there.
Have you been to Derby? What?
And I would love to go. We're so partial to our
traditions.
Derby.
Oh, Indianapolis has a Derby?
We had the 500. Oh. So, like, the Indy 500 is our Derby.
Yes.
More people, but less, like, fancy things happening. So I've been to the race of like 4, maybe only 3 or 4 times. But I would love to go to the Derby. Everyone in my family has been. My parents were in a box once next to a man who won, was like the owner of the horse that won. So they got all this, they went with like, nice rich people that they know. Mm-hmm. My brother went for like a bachelor party once. If I'm going to go though, I'm not being on the
infield.
Hell no.
So I've decided I think I'm going to try to go again this next year, and I'm just like, whoever wants to go, come, because my parents have a house with like lots of extra room, and my brother now has a house that's got extra room. So I was just like, they're just like, bring whoever. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take you up on that. Yeah. And then I think this is the first time I think my friends and I will probably be at the point where we can do a box or do something. Yeah. Because the infield is fun for the first little bit, but
the infield at the Indy 500 is even crazy. I mean, it's called the Snake Pit. It's gross, but I've done it and it's great, but it's nasty.
Yeah, it's a little bit nicer, but if it rains, it's kind of icky, Yeah. But people always try to sneak alcohol in too with different things.
Oh, you can bring alcohol in to the Indy 500.
You're allowed to?
Oh, yeah.
Derby, it's a very big thing. You're not allowed to.
Oh, no, you can bring in whatever the fuck you want. It's a free-for-all, truly.
Wow. That's insane. So Derby is very strict on this, so you have to find ways to sneak in alcohol. Yeah. So my mother taught me, this is mother from, Louisville. So she was like, we figured out how to put 2 double Ziploc bags like underneath each cup of our bras and fit like 6 ounces of alcohol in each cup. And so that's how we would sneak in.
I snuck in vodka to the U.S. Open once, which is like, there's not people behaving poorly there. It's all fancy, happy, rich people. I snuck in vodka in a fake tampon.
What? A fake tampon?
It was a tampon flask. So it was like shaped like a tampon, but hollowed out, and then you poured alcohol in there. So you show them your purse, and they see tampons, but there's...
And of course they avoid that, because, ew, women things. I don't even want to ask about that. Yeah. That is so smart. That's interesting.
But now I just buy the US Open drinks. Yeah. But I do miss sneaking stuff in.
It does feel like it's that kind of excitement, like getting away with something. Like when you're like when you're growing up, like were you rebellious at all? Did you ever?
No, I was very good.
Yeah,
I was very
straight A's.
No, I definitely got some like B's and stuff here, but I was in National Honor Society. I was class president.
But the fact that you were like, I definitely got some B's.
Yeah, no, I was I was a goody. Even through college, I definitely partied and was, like, wild and probably a little slutty in college. not a little slutty, probably very slutty, but I still was like, had good grades in college.
Oh, I was the same way. I really wanted to get like good grades overall. I think the worst I've ever gotten on a report card was like a C. And that was like when I was going through the narcolepsy and didn't know it and sleeping through classes. So, but that's pretty cool though. And did you start stand up in Indianapolis or in Chicago?
I started in Indianapolis, very, very brief. Actually, yesterday was my 10-year anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
You got a lot of awesome things happen. Because everyone's like, hey, you're a beginner until 10 years. And then look at this, this last week that you've been having with the things in the news.
So I started September 24th, 2008. And then I moved to Chicago February 1st. So I was only
moved
there.
Chicago in February?
Yeah. But I lived with my brother's best friend, who was our good family friend. The first 13 months that I was there, we found a place together. We got a really good deal on a place right on Lakeshore Drive that a woman had died in.
Oof. So what, you looked at the obituaries and then looked at the apartments?
They were like, did they tell you, after we'd rented it, the doorman was like, did they tell you what happened there? And we were like, no. And he was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, she died in there. She wasn't murdered. She was old.
Okay.
But it hadn't been redone or anything. It was old. It was like an old apartment, but it was funny. But I moved to February. So I guess I only did stand up October, November, December, January. I only did stand up for 4 months.
In Indy.
And
then Chicago, which
and then I was like, I'm ready for the big time after. No, I just kind of was like, I wanted to leave Indianapolis anyways. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking about going to New York. And God, I remember someone being like, okay, well, you need a headshot for this waitressing job. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I moved to Chicago, worked at my family friend's bar that I could walk to from my house. Perfect. And then was doing stand-up.
Oh, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then when did you move from... we missed each other, I think. I think you had moved before I had started.
I was in Chicago for 5.5 years.
Gotcha.
And then moved to New York.
Yeah.
And was in New York for...
Did you move with Liza?
Liza and I moved together. And then we drove my Saturn out. And we shared a bed for the first 6 months we were in New York. Much like this. This is a queen. Mm-hmm. We were in a full. Shared a full.
You shared a full?
Shared a full.
Wow.
In an illegal 1-bedroom in Hell's Kitchen.
What do you mean illegal?
It wasn't real. It was not I mean, if you know anything about New York, rentals, there's a lot of tricks and bad things. We had to climb over our toilet to get into our shower. We rented. Wow. The woman wasn't supposed to be renting to us. She was a high-end escort. Okay, I guess that's the right word. The best word.
Yeah.
But she kept trying to convince us she had a job, and we were like, we know you don't have a job. She kept being like, oh, work, and it's like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
And then
especially back then. Now people freelance a lot from home, but back then, yeah.
Yeah, and it was all shady, but it got us a place. And I was in New York for a little under 2 years.
Gotcha. And then
moved here 2.5 years ago.
And you live with Joe, right?
I lived with Joe Kilgallen and his wife, Nicole, who I loved so dearly, for the first 6 months? No, I guess longer. Almost 10 months I lived with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then they kicked me out because they were having a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they moved to Chicago.
And now Maddie's over a year and he's so cute. Gosh, is he 2? No, he's a year.
I guess my friends that have kids, it's like, oh yeah, you made a person. This person is starting to have a personality. It's a very weird thing.
Yeah. They start acting like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a year and a half. He's really cute.
That's awesome. So, and you've had a lot of awesome things happen. I remember seeing you. Everyone had a screening for your Conan thing in Chicago when I was there.
Oh, they did? Was this that parlor car?
Yeah, it was.
I remember people telling me they watched it at Bar DeVille.
Yeah.
No longer.
I was there. I know. That was sad that got, shut down.
I know.
That was a very cool bar.
Yeah, why did that bar close?
I don't know why. I think it probably sold to somebody or something. I think it actually sold to one of those restaurant groups that are doing the high end BS stuff, the Michelin star or fancy.
We're a cheesy speakeasy.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of speakeasies here.
Here?
In LA, I feel like.
Are there?
Are there the not really speakeasies? They're they're known.
Well, you live in West Hollywood. I live in like the far, far east side, where like if you're going to a speakeasy, it's like in a Filipino man's basement.
Oh, so that's like for real, like legit.
I think there's like there is a liquor store that you can like say a secret word, and there's like a good sandwiches, like a sandwich place in the back. But even that's like very commonly known.
Oh.
I don't think there's like a lot of the east side. I don't think is cranking off a lot of secret.
Yeah,
no. But West Hollywood, that fits.
Yeah. It feels like, I mean, like there's a bar we had to walk through, like it looks like an adult video store.
Yeah.
And then there's the one that's like a 70s basement, like garage, like you walk through the refrigerator.
What the?
That's Good Time at Davy Wayne's.
I've never been there.
Yeah, that's in Hollywood.
Oh, I think I have been there. God. Yeah, I have been there. I guess I forget I go places here.
Yeah. So you've got your special coming out this week. That's real exciting. When did you film the special?
We shot it in December.
Okay.
And it's now September. So
Gotcha.
It's been a bit. But yeah, we shot it back in December. And then we've just been I guess some people are like, why did it take so long? I'm like, it gave us time to write new material. I haven't, but I've had the time to.
Yeah.
And I've just decided not to.
But you've got other things going on. Hope I can talk about this.
Yeah.
If not, I can cut. But I read last week that you have a development deal.
Yeah, so I sold a show to ABC with a guy who I am writing it with. It's a family comedy about Alzheimer's. My grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and then moved in with my family. And her and I shared a bedroom for a good chunk of that time. And then the guy who I'm writing it with, his grandfather, is still living and has Alzheimer's. So we decided we wanted to write.
Yeah, because I remember you have some jokes about your grandmother with Alzheimer's. You're like...
Yeah, she was my best pal. And Aaron and I, the guy who I'm writing it with, we always felt like Alzheimer's was portrayed... I mean, it's a horrible, very, very sad disease. But the people are still living. And they're still contributing parts of your family and society. And still have so much to, like, love to give and knowledge to give. And we just wanted to make something that felt, fun and representative of what our families have gone through.
And properly representative. Because I feel... like invisible disabilities, ones you can't like see like off the bat, are not portrayed enough in the media. And also when they are, it's often used as a prop or a joke, as the case with narcolepsy as well. Yeah. And it's really important, I think, to have three-dimensional characters that also deal with something that you can't necessarily see, but something that they're like a hardship they're going through.
Yeah. And that they're not a burden, that they bring happiness and can help bring what could be a fractured family closer and happier. I mean, that's very much like my grandmother had a tough life, and I think the time that she lived with my family was probably some of the happiest of her life, even though she was, suffering from a disease. I think it also brought our family very, very close together. There were a lot of positives and wonderful things that came out of what would be normally a very, very sad, horrible situation.
That's really good. I think that sounds like a good show. So
I hope it happens.
Well, that's awesome though. So how did you get to that point?
So I met Aaron, the guy who I'm writing it with. We have the same manager. That old Hollywood
kind of
love story set up on a coffee. He's married and I have a boyfriend. But we met for a coffee date. Within like 10 minutes, we both realized we came from families that were touched by memory loss. And then this was probably a year and a half ago. Started working on it then. We're making like a pitch document and just worked on that pitch and getting it to a place. And then one day our managers were like, okay, you can go out and pitch. And so we went to a bunch of production companies, found an executive producer through that process, then went to a studio. We're at ABC Studios. And then once we had the EP, the studio, then we all went to the network together.
Oh, so you okay, that's interesting.
So we are in the process of writing the script now.
Gotcha. So you just started with the pitch.
Yeah.
The pitch, the characters, the everything, the show Bible, all that
and
stuff.
we had, like, the pilot. We told them what we wanted, like, the pilot to be and what we saw for it. And so that's what we're now writing.
Gotcha. I think it's very interesting to hear different people's processes for doing it.
I have no idea. Like, they could have been like, write the script. And I'd have been like, okay. Like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like, this was the way our, like, managers who know more than we do told us to go about it, and it ended up working. In the past, I've written scripts, sent them out, like, there's obviously lots of different ways to do it. And I guess it probably has to do with the subject matter to some extent, or just, like, where you think it's going to end up. Like, we knew this would be a network show.
Yeah.
Non-cable. It was very, like, family forward feeling,
and something that everyone can relate to. I feel
we hope so, so maybe when you're doing a network as opposed to a cable,
it's a little different.
You do pitch instead of script. I don't know. I still don't know.
No, that's the thing. Nobody really tells you these things. So this is the thing I don't know. So I always ask people that have pitched, like, what it's like, or like when you went in the room where you're just like, here it is, and it's 5 minutes, and then they're like, all right,
it's a lot. We ended up probably pitching. Wow. We went to 4 production companies, only 1 studio, 1 network. But each pitch was we were in there for at least an hour. Oh. And we ended up talking for 25, 30 minutes.
Okay. That's good.
Just, I mean, it's there. You also, there's ways that, like, I've looked at so many documents now of, like, this is how you pitch. And, like, you start with a story about and then you go to this. And then, like, there's all these steps. And I'm like, I didn't know any of that. I love to talk, though. And I worked at a nursing home after my grandmother lived with us. I definitely, like, love and have a passion for old people. And so this was something I felt very, very comfortable talking about. But it was still very, like, practiced and sort of like, this is what, and then they ask you questions too.
And they're like, oh, well, why do you feel that? Why is this character this way? I think it's also great because I feel like for a long time Hollywood has kind of been ageist for a while, and I feel like that's been breaking. I think with Grace and Frankie that's made a big, like, stride with that, and I feel like that's also a really good thing to have these older actors that are incredible, you know, and have roles for them that's more than just the great grandma, like like a central character.
When we always say, like, we want our moms, who are the children of both of our grandparents that have Alzheimer's, to be able to watch this and be like, oh yeah, that happened, and never be like, they're making light of this, because it's not the disease itself. It's not funny. But people that have Alzheimer's sometimes behave regardless of the Alzheimer's in very, very funny ways.
Exactly. Yeah. My grandmother has dementia and a little Alzheimer's, so it is also, like, strange, and she started to, like, tell me stories that I'm pretty sure didn't happen, but she enjoys telling them. So I, like, let her tell me about how she thinks that she worked for the mob.
Right.
In the 70s or 80s. I said, okay. And it's fine, but it is hard, and you don't know how to feel about that. It's unfortunate. It's scary, like, because I don't want to,
Yeah, it is. Oh, well, now our parents are getting older, too.
Yeah. That's really weird.
Yeah.
It sounds like it'll be a funny show, Megan. Sounds like it's going to be a funny show.
It's going to be a real hoot. It's going to be a real hoot.
Do you want to be in it, or?
Yeah, if all goes according to plan and everything clicks and works out right, I will be playing myself in the show.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I hope so. But I've also been like, listen, if you find a more famous, hotter person than me and that helps the show get made, you go ahead and get Jennifer Lawrence playing me. Whatever you need to do. But yeah, I hope I'll get to I have two older brothers, and they keep being like, who's playing us? I'm like, you're not in it. I have a younger brother. It's like, it's loosely. My character and the grandmother are very, very closely tied. The mother character is very, very closely tied to my mother as well. Because my mom is a nurse, and the character in the show is a nurse, because for an Alzheimer's patient to move into a household, you would, like, need someone to know medically what is happening.
That makes sense.
But then the men in the show are, like, not really similar to the men in my family at all.
Well, it's good that you know that and you can communicate that so they don't get mad when they're like,
sorry.
Why is the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, even I watched a cut of my special last week. They, sent it to me, and I was like, oh, fuck, I need to, tell some people that this isn't about them.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not. It's sometimes you combine multiple people into one person for the sake of the joke.
Absolutely. Or you heighten something, or you even, update a joke that you told a long time ago that has nothing to do with the person that you're,
And I'm I know every single friend I have, single, is going to be is that joke about your single friend, me? And I'm no, it's about all of you clumped into one person.
I even sometimes I'll say stuff on Instagram, because it's funny, and then I've gotten in trouble before because of it.
Yeah.
And it's it's part of the comedy, guys.
I know. But I tend to be pretty truthful. You'll see comics sometimes be my wife, and then my mom's what's their wife like? And I'm they're not married. You know, that. I'm
oh, no, yeah, I'm not going to make up a kid or something, you know. I try to be true to myself about it. But
we're just trying to protect the people we love, okay?
Yeah. Although, oddly enough, people do think I'm making up the narcolepsy when talking. Some people do, so I've had to, add in jokes, explaining that I'm not making it up. But that's, just something you learn to, combat and adjust. And so then the special, how did you start building that then?
I don't think I just sort of was you just kind of build an act naturally. And then I was going on the road a lot more, doing shows on my own. And then I started opening for Anthony Jeselnik 2 years ago. And so I was getting to do usually 30 minutes 5 times a week.
Nice.
In front of great sold out crowds that are there to see him. So you do kind of have to earn them too when you're not the person they're there to see. So I feel being on the road and kind of just getting those reps and doing it a bunch helped sort of solidify, oh, okay, this is the 30 that I like right now.
Yeah, that's good. And did you film it at one of the shows and then just submit it, or?
God, where did I film? Filmed it when I was headlining a club in DC, and then sent that in. But then once you're doing it, they go completely back through and are you can't say this joke for legal reasons. I was told I couldn't tell this joke about a woman burning down a famous man's house. And I was I didn't even remember I did that joke in the first place. I was not going to do that, but that's very interesting. So they sort of flag anything that would be problematic.
Or for their sponsors or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a funny email that you get. It's just funny to have your jokes written out by a corporate professional person being can you not say twat or whatever? And you know, you're
I wasn't going to say twat anyways.
Got it. Noted. Not going to say it.
Yeah.
But they're pretty cool on language. I feel they told you, this word will be bleeped, these ones won't, but, you can say whatever you want. It's just a matter of, they will have to bleep it.
Yeah, so it's not as harsh as, a late night set.
No.
That's good.
No, definitely not.
Well, that's awesome. So, and do you know which of the two... I assume you filmed a couple different...
You just filmed one.
You only filmed one?
Yeah, you have one shot.
Oh, wow.
And you end up doing 30 to 35, and then they edit it down to 20 because of commercial breaks and stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you just one shot.
Do you know what they've edited, or do you have no...
Yeah, I saw it last week.
Okay, so you know what's gonna...
I've made my phone calls.
Okay. How did people... Were there ever any jokes about specific people that you're I need to call them because they know it's going to be about them?
No, I did a joke on Conan about my dad and his drinking. And he didn't know until, because that's you filmed day of, he didn't know until a few weeks before that I was, maybe 1 or 2 weeks before that I was doing that joke. And I was oh shit. And I definitely did feel bad. But it's it's not even that mean.
Yeah, it wasn't,
But yeah, so it's sort of those situations of just this isn't about you, or, hey, sorry.
Yeah.
I do a lot of hindsight 2020. I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But I'm excited I watched it alone in my bed, hungover, and I don't think that was the way to view it. So I'll be in DC with my family this weekend, going to my cousin's wedding, so we'll watch it.
Oh, so you have family in DC?
Yeah, my brother lives in DC, and then I have a bunch of cousins that live there. One's getting married. on Saturday. The special comes out on Friday. So my uncle, my aunt, my mom, dad brought their sister-in-law. We'll all watch it Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, your 10-year anniversary, and then within a week of that, you have your Comedy Central half hour, and then you've got your development deal, which I know, like, it's always like a crapshoot whether things will make it, but I really like
but it's really fun to work. It is fun to, like, work on something, and definitely something you like, and there's steps along the way, you know, like...
And you're getting paid,
You get paid eventually, yes.
Oh, wait, when do you get paid in this process?
So in this process, I did not get paid until the network. Until the network.
Until you pitch the network and they're like, hey, we like it. We're going to give you some money. And then what? You have to write the script and then they give you more money?
If they pick it up.
If they pick it up, they give you money.
Yeah.
And then they film a pilot. And then if that gets to the next point.
Then I think you get more money. Honestly, I have a lawyer. Hello. How are you, Michael? He is so nice. He also knows that I know nothing. Even I have a brother that's a lawyer. I thought about going to law school, but when they call with like tiny details, sometimes even big details, I'm like, sure, great. How much? That's really, and then they're like, we don't want to bog you down with these details you're definitely not going to understand. So yeah, I had to ask my writing partner last week, like, do we get paid? What do we get paid when X happens? And he's like this. And I was like, oh, all right. I'm not good at following up or asking details about money.
Yeah, it is a weird thing. And also trying to figure out, like, just having someone that a good entertainment lawyer. I heard, like, once you get to a certain point, if you have a good entertainment lawyer, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I remember being like, I don't need a lawyer. And they were like, you don't need a lawyer until you need one. And I was like, I don't know what that means. But sure, I'll hire one.
That's what I've heard about a manager. Like, you don't need a manager until you need one.
Yeah, it's all confusing. But, sometimes you get to go to lunch, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Then they pay for a fancy lunch.
You get to go to a Beverly Hills lunch.
Is that the one where you don't eat anything?
I have a real problem. I'll eat everywhere. I've been on meetings before, non-eating meetings, and I eat. So I showed up to meet a very, very important man once in no makeup and then ordered a full breakfast. And you could tell he was like, this bitch will never work in this town again.
No, high five for that.
I didn't know. I was like, he like had a cappuccino and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get eggs. And he truly was looking at me like I was crazy. And I'm like...
Well, whatever.
Sorry, dude.
No, like, you're doing fine, you know, like, and you do the sports stuff too, right?
Yeah, I'm hosting a show for the NFL.
Okay.
That's on the NFL's Twitter.
Now, that's something I don't know anything about. Like football kind of goes over my head a little bit. The guy I'm kind of talking to, he's in, like, 2 different fantasy leagues, and I'm like... I still don't understand that quite, you know? I get that...
Well, fantasy is like a whole nother beast. But, yeah, I've always been a sports fan.
Yeah.
Always. I grew up going to Colts games, Pacers games. My dad is like a huge, huge sports fan. And we were I played...
What'd you play?
I played, when I was really young, I played tennis and softball. And then once I was in high school, I just played tennis and golf.
Oh, you golfed.
I was captain of the high school golf and tennis team.
Do you golf as an adult? Is that a thing?
I haven't golfed in years. I don't think I've been in probably 3 years.
I knew a lot of people in Louisville who learned how to golf because they were planning to, like, live in Louisville their whole lives. And, like, that's a businessy thing you go do.
That's why my dad wanted me to
And it's
play.
like, hey, like, if you want to do business with the boys, you got to learn how to golf and, like, all that kind of thing. And that's like
I started to play my sophomore year because my mom called me and was like, Bob Pretty, who is the sweetest, most angel, miss him so much, our very, very dear family friend, became the high school girls golf coach. So I learned to play golf just so I could be on the team because I loved this man so much. And I was really, really bad, but the team was so fun. You got to miss school like 1 or 2 days for tournaments. And it was great. And my dad was very much like, yes, if you know how to play golf and tennis, you're fucking set for business. And now I don't
ever do it.
And now I'm not in business.
I would like to play tennis. I think that would be fun.
I love tennis. I still play tennis a lot.
Like, I was playing in Chicago last summer with my friend, Kristen, who lives here now too, and she would have rackets, so we would just go and play the free courts, you know? And I'm not that good, but it was, like, fun to just play.
Yeah. No, they're both lifelong sports, but football, obviously I did not play football, but
did you watch it? Would you have if it was?
I don't think so. I don't think my brothers didn't play, and my dad played like through college. Played a year in college, and my brothers never played a down of football because my mom was a nurse and was like, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would have. I had a lot of I used to like foul out of basketball games. Non-contact sports were like better for me, definitely. But I always loved watching football. Gotcha. I went to a Big Ten school, like football. I love watching golf. I do love watching basketball. I love watching tennis. I'm trying to think hockey going live is great. It's not I don't think it translates well to TV. It's just very hard to follow.
Some things, I can get into a game if I'm watching it live. Like,
yeah.
Any kind of game, I like watching live, but I also don't like being cold. So that's why football hasn't really worked as well for me. So the only time I really had fun at a football game, we went to a bowl game, it was Louisville versus Miami, because we used to know the guy that coached Louisville, and he used to coach Miami too, so he did like the coin flips. So we went to that game, and it was like 75 degrees. I was like, oh, this is fun.
So in Indianapolis, the Colts have always played inside.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not an outdoor stadium.
Oh, so it's like a dome.
Yeah, when I was younger, they played in a dome. Now they play in a I think the most beautiful stadium in the NFL that has a retractable roof. So when it's cold, it's nice. Closed. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually very smart. So I think that's the only thing with me is I don't like being cold. Like, I will get, I will get frangry, like freezing and angry. Like, that's what I get, which is why LA.
I also don't mind being cold.
You don't mind?
No. My parents grew up in Buffalo, so I've been to Bills games. I've been to multiple Bears games that it was definitely under freezing. For when it's like sports, and I know you're standing, but usually drinking, it's like fun. You have layers. For some reason, it feels like you're like all in it together. There's like a camaraderie of it's fucking 4 degrees and snowing, and that I do like about it. But I am happy I grew up with a team that played indoors. Definitely.
Yeah. That's definitely good.
I think that made it, I think we went more because it was inside. But my parents tailgate every game still.
Every game?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And not like boozing. Like I bet my dad has some beers. Maybe my mom has like lemonade with a splash.
Does your mom not drink?
Wine. She doesn't really drink. Maybe she'd have like a wine cooler. But they go to like see their friends, have chili and wings, and then, their friends have this whole tent set up. We've had the same seats since 1986.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we know all the people around us. Have you ever seen the movie Fever Pitch?
Yeah.
Where they're like friends with, that's like how it is. You see, and I haven't been to a game in probably a year or two.
Yeah.
But when I go back, it's like, oh my God, my mom like helped deliver babies that sit in front of us that are now grown ups.
That's crazy.
It's a whole crew.
Yeah. So maybe one day, what would somebody do? So like you can like throw a pitch at a baseball game. What would you do? A coin flip? What would you do?
My dream is for my family to get to sing the national anthem at a Colts or Pacers game.
Whole family?
My whole family. My dad is in a band, and they have performed at 5 Colts games.
Wait, so your dad, is that what your dad does? He's in a band?
No, he is like a businessman. Okay. He works in HR, but then he's in a band on the side.
Gotcha.
Called Knucklehead.
Shout out.
With an N. And they've performed at 5 Colts games.
Oh,
big time.
That's actually very cool.
Big time.
So your dad has does your mom have a creative thing that she does as well? Or?
My mom's mom was a painter, and so my mom has painted like a little bit, but she's just a sweet angel. She's a nurse, so I feel like her creative is like helping people.
Oh,
she likes to organize. She takes a lot of old people to their doctor's appointments just as like their pal.
Oh,
yeah, she's a nice lady. She and then she teaches like English as a second language.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She volunteers. That's her creative outlet.
And so then do your brothers do anything creative as well, or no?
My one brother's a drummer.
Oh.
And he's a lawyer, but he still has a drum set and probably goes out in his garage and like rages on that. And then my other brother, no, but he definitely fancies himself as like a harmonica player. He can play the piano a little bit. So me wanting us to sing the national anthem is purely a pipe dream of like wanting to be so famous that they're like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, at the point there is a certain level of fame where they're like, okay, we don't care.
What do you want to do? All right.
Like like for what I would love eventually is like HBO, like the way they do Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's like whenever Larry David says he has another season, we'll just give you another one whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, my dreams are very strained. Like, I would love to be in the Indianapolis 500 Festival Parade. And it's like, I'm not that far away. You know, like, that seems attainable.
And also
at this
putting
point.
it out there in the world, you know?
Yeah, come on. People are always like, who else is from Indianapolis? I'm like, David Letterman, Babyface, Jane Pauley.
Yeah. Like,
and
Louisville's got like Muhammad Ali.
You guys
Hunter
have
S. Thompson,
a lot more people.
Hunter S. Thompson. Tom Cruise lived there. Like, he went to one of the high schools for a little bit. Jennifer Lawrence.
All the horses.
All the horses, clearly.
All the famous horses.
I totally just do it just based on the name. That's it. Like, based on the name, it's just, you know. And I
went to the Preakness once.
Okay. So that's so the Derby's the first one. It's like Derby, Preakness, Belmont, I think.
Oh, I went to Belmont. I saw that it was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the horse win the Triple Crown.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
And I can't remember who it was, but it was like the first time in a long time. And all of the people there, because it's in Long Island, so I think that people are more annoying than the people in Kentucky.
Yeah.
They were like, run, you son of a bitch. And I hated that. I was like, do not yell at that horse that way. Like, it was just, I heard a kid on the train on the way back. He's like, yeah, I made my first million at 24. And I'm like, everyone here is annoying. So I think it soured me to horse racing because horses are so pretty.
Yeah.
And I wish they could just be having fun.
Yeah.
But we've got white men shouting at them to run, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's not very
And cars, it's like, that's just a car.
Yeah.
But I do love the movie Cars.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
I do.
And the Disneyland ride.
I love the Disneyland ride, too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I went to the Brickyard 400 when I was a kid. We used to camp out at the Brickyard 400, like do the camping. That's the kind of camping I did. I'm not very...
Were you in an RV?
Yeah, so we had RVs and then we also had some
Hell yeah.
So my aunts and uncles that are from like Southern Illinois, we'd go and it was all the kids.
The Brickyard's fun.
Yeah. So we used to do that and I think I only went to one. I only went once inside the stadium. The rest of the time the kids were just like hanging out and like doing stuff like fishing and stuff like random stuff.
Yeah, the Brickyard. I've been to the Brickyard, yeah.
We're winding down a little bit, but I do want to see if you have any advice for other comics coming up that maybe haven't gotten to their 10-year point or what they're...
Yeah, if you're not at your 10-year point, it's not too late to turn back now. No, I guess I always, whenever people ask me this, have friends, you know, like try and have a community within what is like a large community. So be supportive of your friends, celebrate their successes, and you'd always just have someone that you can go somewhere with that you're like, I don't want to go here. It's sticky and everyone's weird, but you've got like a pal that will go with you. And just be honest and like be true and try and... Someone once told me to like tell jokes that no one else could tell, you know? So just... I don't know what that would mean. Just don't be a hack. I guess. Yeah. I know it's really, really hard to find your voice, but poke around and breaks are okay. It's totally fine to take some time off. And however long it needs to be for you to feel like you're ready to come back. I think breaks are really, really underrated. And live wherever you want to live. Be happy where you're living. Don't feel like you have to be like, I have to be in New York or LA or I'm not doing it. Just live where you are your happiest self. You owe no one a justification on that and just do the stand-up that you want to be doing.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And then the very last question I asked, which you answered a little bit, but I feel like you might have more. I always ask people, because we talked about dreams earlier, what your dreams are for the future. And you mentioned about the singing of the game. And
yeah,
do you have any other ones?
You know, I always wanted to host my own sports show. So that's sort of come true this year. You know, I'm not like the boss of it, but I am hosting a show for the NFL, which I never, ever thought would ever happen. I would love to make a show about old people.
Yeah. And
I know that I'm like in that process, but I love old people so much. I just love sports and old people. And, personally, I hope that my boyfriend and I get married and we start a family and we have a house with a pool.
Oh, I think that's great.
That's all. That's it. Oh, and I want my parents to live either like down the street from me or in my pool house. I want my
parents
mom
in the pool house. It's a totally different pitch for a show too.
Parents in the pool house. I can't wait. My boyfriend is on board. He says it's all good.
Oh, wow.
So it's fine.
You found the perfect person. He's totally on board, but that's amazing.
Yeah, built-in nannies.
That sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
We always say good night, everybody.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Megan Gailey. Be sure to check out her Comedy Central half hour releasing this Friday, September 28th on Comedy Central at 11. Follow her on Instagram at Better Megan Gailey and on Twitter at Megan Gailey. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. We're brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. I'm releasing a new podcast each week, so please tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music, and if you want to find out more, please go to sarahallbritton.com and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at sarahallbritton. Until next time, good night.
Sleeping with Sarah.